What's up everybody and welcome to the channel. In today's video we're going to take a look at the 2023 Subaru WRX. This one's a limited, finished in World Rally Blue Pearl. MSRP is around $37,000. Big shout out to Hendrick BMW Northlake. This is a pre-owned car they got in on trade. They have some nice pre-owned vehicles as well, but check out their link down below. Underneath the hood of the 2023 Subaru WRX, you're going to find the turbocharged 2.4 liter Boxer 4-cylinder engine. It's pumping out 271 horsepower with 258 pound-feet of torque, paired to either a CVT automatic or in this case a 6-speed manual transmission. It's sending all that power to the all-wheel drive system. Curb weight is around 3,400 pounds and it can even do 0 to 60 in 5.5 seconds, topping out close to 145 miles per hour. This car runs on a 16.6 gallon fuel tank, so you're looking at 19 miles per gallon in the city with 26 out on the highway. Overall length is 183.8 inches with wheelbase at 105.2. Width is 71.9 and height is 57.8 inches. Ground clearance is also about 5.5 inches. Moving on to the styling now with the 2023 Subaru WRX. This is their newest generation WRX. It certainly has been met with some controversy for the overall exterior styling. We do get a very nice set of headlights featuring LEDs, got a nice DRL, and I like how the bodywork cuts into them. They're very aggressive. It cuts its way towards the front grille. You're gonna see some metallic gray, your Subaru badge, along with a nice opening to allow cooling to that radiator. Down below, you get a lot of this plastic cladding all throughout it, which is a unique design, I'll say. You can see the golf ball texture, which improves aerodynamics according to Subaru, and you can also see openings down below for more cooling. This does have fog lights in the lower portions. Overall, I do like the shape of the front end. I like the update. It has a really cool look. You get a massive hood scoop up here to allow cooling to the intercooler, which is top mounted for that Boxer motor. And you get a lot of really cool sharp lines throughout this hood. Of course, this is an iconic color, which is definitely a really nice choice for this particular spec. And as you make our way to the side profile, this is where you get some controversy, is this plastic all throughout this side. You can see more of the golf ball texture on the uniquely styled fender flares. There's a little air inlet on the backside, and then the side skirts are finished in the same color. I will say body color I think would look a lot better for this car. However, I do like the overall design. It just needs to be body color rather than plastic. You can see the body color on the door handles and the mirror caps, and you can also see an LED turn signal. This gets all black trim surrounding the windows just to blend all the glass, and a nice sunroof up on top. Moving to the entire side profile, the proportions are really good. It has a nice short front and a short rear, so overall I like the proportions of the car. The wheels are also finished in a pretty nice gunmetal gray color with a multi-spoke design. They're also 18 inches in diameter. And then you're going to see sharp body lines throughout that rear fender to really add some aggression, and I like how the roofline slopes down into the trunk. We get a body colored spoiler mounted up above, a gloss black trim piece cutting through the entire rear end, and you can see a really cool design for these LED taillights. It's like a lava design inside. Hopefully you can see that on camera. Certainly gives it a three-dimensional look. We get WRX and Subaru on the back with that symmetrical all-wheel drive badge. And then once again, the rear end is a massive chunk of plastic, which I think does look a little odd. It's just finished in that same color. You get a combination of the golf ball texture and smooth. However, you do get a nice quad exhaust. So I think the biggest downside is certainly the plastic material all around it. However, I do like the overall shape of the new WRX. Moving on to the key fob, we get your lock, unlock button, along with a trunk button and panic. Has some silver trim to it as well. Does have remote access. You just grab the door handle, car's gonna automatically unlock, and we can check out this interior. The new seats for the WRX look super cool. You're gonna see the black leather and alcantara, along with some more dark color accents and red stitching. You can see all black throughout the door panel with some smooth material, a little bit of padding on your armrest with a grab handle, window controls, mirror controls, lock and unlock, and your release handle up above. There's a plastic material that kind of looks like carbon fiber up above, and then you get storage down below and a Harman Kardon audio system. I love the aluminum you're gonna see on all those pedals, and then these seats are power adjusting. You get a combination of this nice smooth leather with all this micro suede material. I think it looks really cool, and it's actually like black and gray. So it's kind of a triple tone design for these seats. And I love how the red stitching goes all the way up to the red embroidery of WRX. We get a black leather steering wheel with a flat bottom design, more red stitching, and that carbon fiber look material. And then now inside the WRX, keep my foot on the clutch, we can go ahead and fire it up. Taking a look at the gauge cluster now, we get your analog speedometer on the right with your fuel, tachometer on the left with your engine temperature, and then a nice digital screen in the center. You can see that boost gauge right in the center as well. Then you can configure it using these arrows right here. So if I go ahead and scroll up and down, you can see a few different things that are going to pop up. You can just scroll through all sorts of different information within the car, along with some tire pressure, a few more things like that. So nice to see a few things that are going to pop up on the screen. And then taking a look at the steering wheel now, we get the Subaru badge, cruise control is on the right, Bluetooth and audio controls are all on the left side, and then you get your stock on the right for the windshield wipers, turn signal and headlights on the left. And then a few more controls down here. There's a little bit of storage down below, trunk release, traction control, and the interior dimming. Nice air vent, and then some black material running across the entire dashboard. And I like how the passenger area, you're gonna get some vinyl along with some stitching. Some cool gray color as well. And then we get this massive new infotainment screen. You're gonna see this on a lot of different new Subarus, but up on top, you got a few vitals, your clock, outside temperature, some things for the vehicle. You have your temperature for outside, things like that. So it's nice to see a few more items. Then we have all of your different apps. You can go into your navigation screen. You get a good system that will pop up with a pretty decent sized screen. Home icon down below, you can see a few more things. Going under settings, all sorts of different things you're gonna be able to adjust. And going back into there, we can swipe over, add shortcuts. We can go under car info as well, see the driving statistics. You also have maintenance that's gonna pop up. This little car icon you can pop up and you can see a few more items you're able to adjust within the car. And then we have different driver profiles. Now if I go ahead and put the car into reverse, you're gonna see that backup camera popping up with pretty good graphics and everything. However, of course, it's not utilizing the entire screen, but it's still about 4 or 5 inches. Now underneath all of that, you're gonna see climate controls. We have everything touchscreen down below. You can easily adjust your fan speed. You can toggle this icon to get a little bit more in depth with your different zones and everything. Heated seats, and you can sync everything. And I like how you have temperature icons on the physical side. So that's a cool touch. Front and rear defrost, tuning, volume on the left, and air vents around that. And beneath that, we have all of your different plugs, a huge area for storage, some red stitching surrounded that 6-speed manual shifter with a pretty nice leather design. We have a manual parking brake, a little bit more storage and 2 cup holders, and the armrest, you can actually raise it up a little bit, which is a cool touch to see. This does open up, a little bit of storage in here, and then over on this right side, we have a pretty good sized glove box. Now being the limited trim, you're also gonna find a sunroof up above with a manual sunshade you can easily open and close. Then we have all the controls for that, dome lights, and then a nice mirror. Moving on to the rear seat space, if I grab the door handle and open it up, door panel is finished off just like up front, that same carbon material. And then in back, I love how you get all the same materials. You're gonna see the smooth leather and all that micro suede. This can seat 5 people. And then the center cushion, you can pull this down. We have a nice armrest along with 2 cup holders. You do have 2 plugs in the center and then just a little bit of storage up here. And then you can pull these tabs upwards and these are gonna fold down nice and flat for better storage. All right, so sitting in the back seat of this WRX. So I'm 5'11", and actually this is a pretty good back seat. I'm not really touching the ceiling, got maybe a ½ inch of headroom. With a driver's seat at my height, good legroom and feet room. Armrest is in a good place and you have a lot of glass, same with the center armrest. So for being kind of on the smaller side of the sedan spectrum, this actually isn't that compact. So a WRX is actually a pretty good, useful, family-focused sporty sedan if you need the space. And then moving on to the trunk storage space, if I press the button underneath the logo, you have a pretty good amount of storage in here. Decently squared off with a nice cutout on the left and right side. The opening is a little small, however, but this does seem to be pretty roomy. And then with the back seats manually folded down, only way to do that is through the side. You can see just how much more storage space you're gonna get in the back of the sedan. Pretty good entry point into that trunk to make this car pretty useful. All right guys, so we are setting off now in the WRX. Let's get into second gear. Not bad, nice peppy little car, honestly. It's got some good pep to it, step, fun to play with for sure. As far as some normal things go, this is actually kind of a nice car to be in. The seats are really comfortable. I love them so much over the previous generation. These are actually nice to sit in. They look amazing. Kind of have good bolstering, so you feel pretty tight in them. Handling's pretty decent in here too. Steering is nice and responsive. It's kind of lightweight. There's no drive modes or anything, but you know, the car kind of holds its own for what it is. Some normal things, you know, you have good visibility, like really good visibility. Actually, the windshield's huge. All this glass on the sides makes it super easy to see around. And when you do look over your right and left shoulder, really good visibility overall. Good over your left as well. So nice to see that in this. Getting back up to some speed. The clutch doesn't have that much feedback, so it's a little very easy to drive this car, which is a good thing. It's just not as engaging as some manuals could be, so it's kind of economy car feeling manual. However, it still gives you good engagement, decently notchy transmission. It's pretty long for the throws, so it's not, like I said, it's not the tightest transmission out there, but it's forgiving, it's easy to learn on, easy to drive. Going quickly through some sweepers, the car does seem to hold its own nicely. Again, it's not the crazy most performance-focused car out there. However, when you're taking turns, you know, it's just a nice sporty ride. So it's a really good entry-level sporty sedan that kind of gives you a normal car on the interior. Like, it's easy to use the technology. You have enough technology that you would expect in any modern car. But being that you can get the manual, of course, this turbo engine all-wheel drive, it's fun to drive. You know, you can just play with it. Now, it's not that fast where you're gonna be getting into crazy amounts of trouble with it. You know, it's only up to about 60 miles an hour. So it's kind of a good blend just to get into something fun, something sporty, and something practical, but you still just get, you know, that fun rally car aspect to it and still kind of giving you a normal car. All right, so turn around to my perspective. Peppy car. Above 4,000 is kind of when the power comes alive. Underneath that, there is a little bit of lag. You can tell that the car is not the most performance-focused thing. The STI used to fill that void. The STI was the one that had that extra torque, that extra horsepower, the suspension, the brakes, you know, all the drive mode settings, the drivetrain settings that really let you know you're in a true performance sedan. The WRX has always been that entry-level point where it's a sporty car. It gives you a lot of a taste of what an STI has to offer without breaking the bank and without, you know, just getting into that level of a car. So it's a good entry point into something fun and sporty. It is sad to see with this new generation, the STI is gone. I'm not really sure why Subaru decided to do that. I feel like that's kind of a bad idea. And from what I've seen with these aren't the hottest selling cars. They used to be, I think, way more popular than they are right now. I don't think this new generation is really clicking with that many people. When you drive it though, so we're going uphill, third gear. Again, it takes some time to get the speed going. You got to get to about 4,000 for it to really start pulling and carrying its weight. But of course, with aftermarket, I mean, people are going to be tuning these, doing all sorts of mods. It still is fun though. The handling is nice, the steering's nice. It's kind of a well-rounded, good package with a sporty touch to it. It's just definitely a bummer that the STI is not coming back. Now with that, the styling, not everybody likes it. In fact, a lot of people don't like the look. I think the look is there, it looks good. It's just the plastic black. I don't know why they decided to put so much on it. And to me, I think the new generation WRX looks too much like a Subaru. I think a lot of WRX owners aren't exactly Subaru owners. Subaru owners, they love all the plastic cladding all over the car. That's what they seem to buy, and that's what they kind of look like. I think the WRX never needed that treatment. It always looked good, just being normal looking, sporty looking, and it had that rally car vibe. Now it looks more like an Outback in a sedan form. So I'm not the biggest fan of the styling, but you could change that. And honestly, it's an easy way to do upgraded fender flares and kind of give this a wide body or something, rip everything off and put new stuff on it, or just get them painted. So there's ways around that. The interior though, big improvement. I like the way it works. It looks nice. The seats are a huge improvement as well. So I think overall this is a better car than the previous WRX. It drives nice and it has a good sporty touch. As far as some refinements, you can hear some wind noise and road noise. We're only going 46 on a smooth road, and you know, it's not the most quiet. So you can tell this is still an economy car at the end of the day with the bigger turbo and with a little bit of a sport design to it. So going around a fun turn again, the brakes seem to do well. Let's see how this does it. You definitely have to play with it in the higher RPM. I was going into that at 3,500 and there wasn't really any power. So it's a car that it kind of comes alive. If you're above 4,000, 4 to 6, you can really just beat on the car, play with the car, and it's gonna feel peppy. It's gonna be a fun car to drive. And being it's not that fast, you're not gonna be breaking speed limits left and right. So there's definitely an appeal to the WRX. It's a good entry point if you're maybe buying your first manual transmission car. Easy to work with, very easy to learn. If you're a more advanced manual driver, this might feel not as nice as other cars. You know, it's a little bit long, a little wobbly, so it's not anything crazy refined. But for the price point, brand new car, under $40,000 with a fun factor to it, I don't think you can really go wrong with this. I just think it's going to come down to, are you going to want about the same price point, maybe a little more refinements with a Volkswagen, which might be your best alternative, or do you want something completely different and get a GR Corolla, which you can get for about the same price. A little smaller car, but much more performance focused. So there's some good competition in this price range. I think the WRX though, it does give you a nice overall layout. It's a good place to be, it's practical, it's roomy, and it does have a fun sporty aspect to it to make it kind of something you can just play around with and have some fun. So it's a cool car for sure. Any downfalls with it? It just depends on what you're coming from. If you're used to an STI or anything more performance focused, obviously this is a downgrade. But if you're coming from maybe like a Civic with a manual or something like that, you know, this would be a nice step up without breaking the bank, and you get the next step up in performance. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video, taking a look at the 2023 WRX. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and then check out Hendrick Northlake for your next vehicle. They have a lot of cool pre-owned vehicles, and of course some nice brand new stuff. See you guys in the next video.